Mainstream media's blood-soaked legacy, from Biafra's genocide to smearing Nnamdi Kanu ahead of October 10th ruling. Stephen R. Covey, in his classic The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, highlights Habit 2, begin with the end in mind. This principle forces us to ask, how do you want to be remembered? What will your spouse, children, neighbors, colleagues, and community say about you when you are gone? Will they remember you as a truth-teller who served humanity, or as a dishonest merchant of lies and propaganda who fueled division and bloodshed? For the mainstream media, the answer is sadly obvious. The first recognizable social media platform emerged in 1997. That year also marked the slow but steady death of mainstream media being the sole gatekeeper of information. For nearly 3 decades since, the world has been waking up to the lies, manipulations, and propaganda that were once swallowed whole. Across continents and generations, the world remembers the ignoble roles played by mainstream media. The lies that sparked unnecessary wars. The propaganda that toppled nations and crushed dissent. The countless innocent lives lost because truth was buried for profit. The poverty, disease, and division that media helped sustain to satisfy the greed of a few. This is the real legacy of mainstream media, a legacy dripping with innocent blood. For Biafrans, this legacy is not theory, it is lived experience. In 1967, as colonial manipulation stoked tensions in Nigeria, Western mainstream media, spearheaded by the British Broadcasting Corporation, BBC, and the Associated Press, AP, deliberately mischaracterized a military coup as an Igbo coup. That single propaganda decision gave political cover to the mass killings of Eastern Nigerians and helped justify the genocidal war that took over 3 million Biafran lives, most of them women and children. History will never forget this media-enabled crime. Fast forward to today, 2025. Same old lies. The BBC, AP, and their Nigerian collaborators continue the same pattern of deceit, but this time against the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, and her leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Despite irrefutable courtroom evidence that Nnamdi Kanu was illegally kidnapped from Kenya, tortured, and held in solitary confinement, mainstream media shamelessly parrots the Nigerian government's false narrative of arrest. Despite court judgments proving that IPOB's prescription was through an unconstitutional ex parte order, mainstream media still brands IPOB a proscribed terrorist group, knowingly feeding public misinformation. And despite court records in Finland convicting Simon Ekpa, a criminal agent provocateur used by Nigeria to destabilize the movement, and confirming that Ekpa denied being an IPOB member under oath, mainstream media still desperately links his crimes to IPOB in a bid to smear Nnamdi Kanu ahead of the October 10, 2025 court ruling on his no-case submission. If not for the rise of social media, IPOB's truth would have been completely buried under mountains of media lies. Social media has become the oxygen of this liberation movement, exposing falsehoods, broadcasting real-time facts, and giving voice to the voiceless. The mainstream media is no longer a guardian of truth, but a merchant of lies, a tool of oppression, and a virus to society. Just as people take precautions against biological viruses, society must treat mainstream media with the same caution, as a carrier of contamination. This is their legacy, shameful, dishonest, and blood-soaked, a legacy that history will judge harshly. Family Writers Press International.